Okay, so I caught up on season 2 of Percy Jackson as well because it's definitely bingeable, and I loved it. I will say I'm a little sad that it took a bit of a time before they started filming season 2 because the voice change that Percy has, that actor went through puberty because it goes from like hi to like hi, I'm like Percy Jackson. So it doesn't quite line the same. Also, the character I think is supposed to be 12 or 13 as he's going through season 2, and the actor I think was like 15 when they started filming this. So it's definitely different to see a 15, 16-year-old fight sea gods and stuff like that versus a 13-year-old. I know it's more dangerous when I see a child, literal child facing monsters versus a teenager facing monsters. I think it adds to the stakes in my mind mentally. So that's a bummer. I'm glad that I hear that they are filming season 3 almost immediately afterwards, and season 4 I think is in pre-production or has been announced. Hopefully they are going to try and film as much as possible on a continuous basis and get through the seasons as possible because their ages is very obvious from season 1 to season 2. Also, then as an audience member, I don't have to wait so long. But this season actually makes me want to read the novels even more because it's clear they made changes, or I've been told they made changes from the novel. And it's interesting because some of these changes that they made, the audience members actually like them. That doesn't happen all the time. For example, I think when they're escaping Cersei's island, the fact that it's supposed to be Annabeth who's tied up, but instead it's Percy who's tied up. And I've seen people say they like that change because it actually heightens their fatal flaw more. Because Annabeth's flaw is her hubris. She really thought she could go out there and outsmart those sirens, and that was used against her. She thought her plan worked. Her mom came and said, "Oh my God, you're so amazing." That was actually the trap. So her hubris led to her downfall. And then it also shows Percy's fatal flaw, which is his overwhelming loyalty, where he would rather sacrifice a quest or anything like that for his loved ones. But that worked in his favor in this because the siren songs did not work because all he could do and concentrate was, oh, I need to save Annabeth, I need to save Annabeth. And he goes and does that. I also think in a weird way because they are aged up. There might be like fans of the Percabeth like ship in the writer's room because some moments definitely feel a little bit more romantic. And I think that they can lean into that because they are 15 versus when I was 13, I'm like, you should still be friends. But the actors are 15, so you can kind of play up I'd let it burn or something. The fact that I'd burn it down is like it's an intent that is different. So I'm shipping a lot of that. I also like the moment where Percy has these strong reactions to the mention of Luke with Annabeth, who's the other boyfriend, or he interrupts a call that Luke joins, and even he's like, don't touch her to Luke, even though she was dying, and he did give up the quest. That was his fatal flaw, and he showed that where he gave up the quest. He gave up the fleece to save Annabeth, even if it meant that he still trapped in this cave. So I frankly am loving all the choices. I'm still sad that like actors have grown up a little bit too fast. It is what it is, but I think as a result they're playing a little bit more and leaning a little bit more into the Percabeth stuff. That being said, I also do see that Percy would give up the fleece if it was Rover in that situation as well, and also especially if it was his mom. Also, surprise shout out, love Clarice. She's kind of badass. She does a really great job of being fierce and a fighter, and like even the fact that she catches Percy is hilarious. But it's also sort of great because you see that vulnerability in her where she doesn't want to die and she doesn't want to let down her father. So I think it's great because all these characters have that layer of what you expect of them. Like you expect Annabeth to be brilliant and you expect Clarice to be like a badass, but they also have this like second layer of vulnerability underneath them. Like Grover, you expect to be this kind and nice, and he a little bit fumbles and get lost a little bit, but at the same time he is clear in his values. Same with Percy. While he might be a hero, there's this part of him which is a little bit, I wouldn't say darker, but like in the sense that he does not care if it means that his friends and family are okay. He doesn't mind like letting the world burn or gods get in trouble for that. Like there's all these layers to these characters, which is nice. Now I'm excited to watch the 7th episode, and then next week I'll watch the 8th episode, but season 2 will be done. And when does season 3 come out? I maybe should just read the books in the meantime. But what do you guys think? How are you liking season 2 so far?